Hey, what's up? It's Sugar from Sound Candy Studio. Now, today I'd like to take a very quick look at this Noveltech character plugin. It's probably not one that you're going to use on a day-to-day basis, and probably may not even be one that you've even heard of. But I think it's interesting, and I think, well, let's go and have a look at it. Welcome back. Right, I guess we should start at the beginning as I always do. So right at the beginning, I take a look at what the buttons do and what the knobs do, blah, blah, blah. So we'll start there. But before we start there, what I want to say about this plugin's probably not for everyone. Now I say that in all honesty, and I do like the plugin, but I'm guessing it's not going to be for everyone. Why? Because I'm not entirely sure I know what it does. I know it sounds good, I know I like it on some tracks, but I'm not entirely sure, and this is going to be a short video, but going through it you probably see what I mean by that. Okay, so we'll start right at the beginning. At the beginning we have this input knob, we have the output knob, that's kind of obvious, input, output, yeah, we get that. Then we have the count knob, then we have the target knob, then we have the mode knob. Now, the bit that I find kind of strange is the character button and the target button. Why? Because the target button itself says this targets the frequency. Yeah, we get that. Yep, not a problem. That's understandable. And the character button, it says it basically enhances the frequency and the relevant characteristics found within this source, and it does it automatically. So these are the two that cause me some concern. They work or they do something, but exactly what they do, I don't know. The mode button, that's quite simple to understand. Well, mode number one, that's for percussive instruments, so it's for percussive and vocals. Mode number two is for guitars and synths. Mode number three is for bass guitar and pads. So we kind of know what this button here does. That's straightforward. The input and output are straightforward. The character and the target are slightly different. Now, as I've said, they do work and it does do something. But if you ask me technically what it does, I'm not sure. Right, so what I've done is I've put a couple of sample tracks here which we're going to take a listen to, and we'll listen to them independently. So what I've essentially done is I've put an instance of a Noveltech character on each of these tracks. So we'll listen to them and see what they sound like. We'll do the bypass. Sorry, at the bottom here we have also the A and B, which is just gonna do an A/B relative, and then we have a store button. The other thing I would mention that I probably didn't mention at the top, there are some drop-down menus underneath the input and the output. So if we right-click, we'll get this fallback, the peak hold, and the peak fallback. Now what this essentially does, I generally have this plugin set to 20 dB, and what that means is when you see this particular plugin play, it has a meter that goes up, and what it means is if you have it on the highest, which is 20, it means the time it takes for this meter to fall back down, that's the time. So if you have it on 20, that's the fastest time, the quickest time it takes to fall back down, and if you have it on 3 dB, that's the slowest. So that's essentially what it does. The peak hold, exactly the same thing. You have this measured in seconds, so you have everything from 5 seconds all the way down to 1, and you can also bypass it and just have it as 0. And that again also happens on the output. So I hope that explains that 20 is the fastest, 3 dB is the slowest, and you'll see it when we run this track. Okay, so enough of that. Let's just run this track and we'll see what it does. So it's on, we haven't bypassed it, so we're just going to essentially go in, take a listen. So remember what I said, the character button intelligently enhances the relevant characteristics. That's the character button, and the target button targets the frequency. So let's just go and have a listen now. Oh yes, and I always forget this. One other thing I should say, there are some presets in here, so we can probably play with the presets and see what they do as well. And one more thing, because we have got this, I will slightly flick through them, but because we've got this one set to 1, and remember what I said, 1 is for percussive instruments and vocals. So what we're going to do is probably we should start by setting this to 2, because this is a guitar. So let's just do that. Obviously this is on bypass, so that's we're going to A-B it this way. Let's see what this sounds like if we go to 1. Now let's go to 3. Now I can clearly hear that absolutely 2 is where it should be. That's kind of clear. Well, certainly for the kind of resonance that's been produced by this particular rhythm guitar. So I definitely would agree. However, one of the things that I often say when I'm talking to people in the studio is that music is about listening. So it's about the desired effect. So regardless of what this plugin says, 1, 2, and 3 for this particular instrument and that particular instrument, I would go with your ears. If you like the sound of any of them, then I just think that's what you should do. You should just choose the one that you like that fits the genre and the sound that you're looking for. But again, I would not pay too much attention to simply looking at this plugin. I would certainly say the music's about sound, so let's just take that into consideration. And if we're using a plugin and we like the sound that it generates, that's what we're going to go for. Forget about what this says. Just do what you want. We spoke about the fallback and the peak hold, so let's just have a look at that so you can see that going, because maybe you didn't look at that. So it's the amount of time it takes these to fall back. So if we right click and let's just do this, go to 3 dB, see the amount of time it takes for it to reset. I generally have this on 20 because I like it quick. Whilst we're still on this rhythm guitar, let's go and just go through some of these defaults. Now, we're on the default one, but we've got several different settings, and what we're going to do is, in this particular instance, we're just going to select, I don't know, let's just go for a female Vulcan, see what it does to that. Let's try the piano. And if I didn't mention it, this tiny peak button is obviously your peak button. So if you see this light, then you know you're going to peak. Okay, so that's this guitar track. Let's just try it on some drums. So we're gonna just cancel that for a second, and let's just open up this one. We're gonna try the drum track. Let's just solo it, and let's just see what this sounds like. So I'm guessing we should start at number 1, which is where it said it's percussive instruments. So we'll go with that one first. Personally, I don't like that at all. Let's have a look through the default, see what we've got. Drums. Wow, so we're definitely peaking here. Let's turn that down. Actually, maybe I just don't like the drum loop. I'm not sure if it's the plugin. Maybe I just don't like the drum loop. I should have picked something else, I guess. So that's that. So let's just take the solo off. Let's just play them both. As I said, is it snake oil? No, it's not. It definitely does something, and maybe it's just me, but I can't explain 100% or even probably 70 or 80% exactly what it does and is it really useful. Now obviously we have it, we've had it for some time now, and it's just another one of these plugins that somebody in the studio bought for a particular reason. We have lots of clients that insist that we have certain plugins for particular projects, and if we're getting paid enough, we just buy the plugin so that they have it in their session. So that's essentially how we come by having so many plugins. A client will ask for a particular plugin. We had a client ask for the Vox and Go Elephant, which is almost £1,000, which we had to purchase. So we have that. We purchased it. They used it in the session. We charged them, and that was that. But yeah, essentially that's how we come by many plugins. We have very specific clients who want very specific plugins, and when they book the studio or book the session or book to do an album, whatever, we purchase the plugins so that they have them for their session. Effectively, they're paying for it. Yeah, I know it's bizarre, but they want what they want. So that's how we come to have so many plugins, because we buy them for our client projects, and that's essentially it. This one, what should I even rate this one? Yeah, let's give it a 5 out of 10. Only reason why is because I'm not entirely sure what it does, but I actually quite like it. For what it does do, which I can't necessarily explain, I do like it. Would it be, could you achieve this sound without this plugin, using a combination of EQing, compression? Yes, you can. There are lots of plugins that can probably do this, combined plugins, but this isn't a combined plugin. This just does it out of the box. So whatever it does do, I do like it. Will I use it often? I don't know. If I do this video and we're doing a project next week and I think actually, yeah, let's just use that, probably I'll use it then. Other than that, no, it wouldn't be a go-to plugin for me. But having said that, it's, for what it does, it's not bad. What I should say, sorry, I just dropped my paper there. What I should say is that this plugin, I think it's about $149. You can also get a free 14-day trial. So certainly, if I haven't used the correct samples or haven't put it on a track that suits your genre, I would definitely advise you to go to the Plugin Alliance website and download this plugin and try it for yourself. You've got 2 weeks. Stick it on your track and see what you think. If you like it, buy it, and if you don't, then leave it as is. Okay, so that's it for me today. I will see you guys on Thursday with another video. Take care. Until then, I'm out.